Welcome back to Energetically You. I'm so excited. I think this is honestly my first in-person recording of a podcast. So it's fitting that it's my dear friend and work wife, Britt Gustafson. She is here. We are here today in Charleston, South Carolina. We bought our beautiful kimonos ready for the retreat. And today we're going to give you a little rundown, a deep dive into our inspiration behind this specific retreat, doing retreats in general, sacred sisterhood, energy healing, all the things. So first off, welcome, Britt.
Welcome. Thank you, Megan. This is an honor to be live on your podcast. This is amazing.
I know. Well, thank you for lending me your beautiful podcast mic here in your beautiful home. So for those of my audience that don't know you, I don't think there are many at this point because we do so much together, but just a brief introduction. Who are you and what are you doing?
Sure. My name is Britt, and I own Be Mind, Body, and Soul. I'm a Reiki master, intuitive, and mindful life coach and business coach. And I help women kind of just get out of their own way to help feel more fulfilled and amplified in their life. And there's a combination of coaching and energy healing. The two of them together, I think, are a secret sauce to really big success and transformation. So I'm very excited to be here and chat about retreats in general and what we do.
Yeah. So I don't even remember how long ago now. It's probably over a year that we knew that we wanted to start doing really curated, powerful in-person experiences for people. And I think the pandemic kind of highlighted this for everyone, but we were already on a path that was making these things something that were going to be really desirable in the future for women in particular, but I think everyone. Meaning, moving forward, I personally now when I travel, I'm looking to have an experience beyond being a tourist. Whether that's making sure that someone I really know, love, and trust is there, and like it's also like a really deep social interaction. Whether that's a strategic selection of where I'm going based on maybe like, historic spirituality or the energetics of the place or what I'm specifically energetically needing. Like, right. Do I need to be around water? Do I need, like an ocean dose, those kind of things. So that's one aspect of our inspiration on doing retreats. And then, I think it was a no-brainer. Like it was just immediately that we need to do this first one in Tulum. And I have a feeling that we'll be doing more than one in Tulum, right?
Well, I think how it happened, I'm thinking back in my head now. I think I was in a yoga class of some sort, and I had an epiphany about,
as you do in yoga class.
In yoga class, it happens, right? You get these beautiful downloads at the end of it and during. And I remember reaching out to you and I was like, Megan, I have this idea. I have this vision for a retreat with a lot of culture and a lot of history and somewhere we can immerse ourselves. And it's beautiful and it has a tropical vibe and there's an ocean. And I said, would you do this? And you were like, absolutely. Like, she didn't even like waver about it. She was like 100% yes, let's do this. And I was like,
when are we doing it?
Right. When, where are we doing it? Where's the first one? And I think it's just, I personally love, these women's circles that we do and the work that we do, but there's something about coming together in a place where nobody's been. So you have to like forget about your daily habits. You have to forget about, how it feels to, not have the same, car or the same, process to get food or anything like that. It's just completely different. And I truly believe this. When first time I ever traveled abroad, I went to India and I was like, this is what life is about. It's about experiences. It's about you immersing yourself in that culture. And there wasn't anything in that culture that resonated me as a Canadian girl. Nothing was familiar. Like food wasn't familiar.
Yeah, it's
sounds
like
weren't familiar.
Automatic energetic shift.
Yep.
Whether you're into it or not, really,
right.
Like it just happens. And to your point, like even just eating different food, breathing different air,
sounds,
the
smells.
sounds, the smells.
Oh, the smells.
And yeah, all the good and the bad in India. Amazing, colorful.
Jet fuel.
Yeah. But in Tulum, that was actually, interestingly, now that I think back, that was like the last place that I went before I got on the bus and went to like start my life in Tuxtla, like
No way.
where I am now.
Wow.
Obviously, at that point, my plan was to be in the city for a year and then go to Bali, or I didn't know what, but yeah, and I was just blown away by the Mayan ruins. Like at that point, I traveled all around Quintana Roo, and I'd seen, I don't know, dozens of ruins.
Mm-hmm.
And the fact that it's, it's a park, it's, I don't know if it's probably not the only, but it's one of the most beautiful ruins that is hanging off cliffs into the ocean.
Stunning.
And just the color of the water there, and then the fact that you can swim. I'd never been to any other museum
right
that you can like change and swim and sort of like experience it from a different perspective. And yeah, I was just blown away from the energy of that place. And then so then we started researching it more, and it is an energetic vortex. What does that mean? It's an incubator for expansion. It amplifies what you're already feeling. And you've already been to Sedona. So tell us about that experience, because that is another energetic vortex.
It's interesting. I've been to Tulum 3 times.
Also.
And every time that I've left there, I've had these life epiphanies, like people that I'm with, who I'm spending my time with, how I'm treating myself. You have these real big epiphanies, and I can only speak from my personal experience, but that's what I gathered going to this place. And I didn't understand. I didn't know that it was a vortex, to be honest with you. And I had gone to Sedona with my family, and my poor little kiddo, he was feeling under the weather. And as we were driving in, my husband looks at me and he was like, I feel that. And I'm like, do you feel the energy shift? He was like, I just felt like it was just like I went into like this energetic bubble, and he could feel it. And he's not a Reiki master. He's not very in tune, but he just felt it energetically. I was like on fire. First of all, my Reiki, my hands, I could feel them tingling constantly. They were like very active. And going back to what we were just talking about, whatever you're feeling, how, like, it could be physically as well. So like my poor son had a cold. I think he was teething, and poor thing, amplified.
Yeah.
So I remember consciously going into Sedona going, okay, Britt, life is good. Let's leave all of our baggage aside. Let's really be present to really feel the energetic pull. And what happens there, which is super cool, if nobody's been to Sedona, you'll see the trees. It's like they rotate out of the ground in a circular manner. It's very bizarre. So it's like there's like a
spiral
pull.
Is a very sacred symbol, and it really represents multi-dimensional and like moving through time. I don't know this, and of course the 108, the Fibonacci spiral, like it's deep,
and you feel it coming from both ends, so it's really cool. And I think that's what's going to be really special about Tulum is how do I put, we were just talking about this, the group is going to make the space, we're all going to feel the different effects of this vortex by doing nothing but other just being present. So that in itself is a transformation that you're going to go through, because it's going to be helping you unravel certain things. It's going to help you boost yourself, in a different way, or just feel more alignment or more clarity. So I'm excited to see what everybody's going to experience personally.
Totally. Well, and I think like to elaborate a little bit on the amplification, like essentially it's just you getting like some healing, some download, some shift that might happen somewhere else, but it's more of this, it's condensing time.
Right.
It's an acceleration of what needs to happen. And yeah, it's going to be really powerful. So let's talk about Sacred Sisterhood, because that is the major inspiration. I think it's the seed of our relationship. We were in a coaching container together. Our mutual intention at that time was about starting our businesses to have, another level of freedom in terms of our like financial freedom, in terms of our flexibility of time and space,
time,
geographical, time, all these things. And so we found that, but I think another thing that we did not go in, our intention wasn't necessarily to network or to, make deep friendships. And so that was, for us, was like this unintentional result of that container. And even before it ended, we started working together closely and collaborating and really supporting each other in our businesses, bouncing ideas off one another. Mm-hmm. And it's so important to have these safe spaces with like-minded women. And when I say that, it can be like-minded and like-intentioned around many, many things. But in Tulum, we're going to be focusing on an energetic shift, like really finding a next level sense of clarity, of purpose, of reconnecting to your own personal spirituality. And that is a journey that only you can resolve. Like, that is not like, you're going to receive all of these tools and techniques and experience and embody them, because you're going to feel them and have them while you're there. And those things that really resonate with you, you're going to take with you and keep practicing. And that's really where the massive growth and expansion results as you continue these practices, because pretty much everything in terms of spirituality is not like a one and done scenario.
It's an ongoing, you're evolving, you're changing, and your needs are changing.
Totally.
And everything is going to be you're going to be going through it. In my head, it's like a little quantum leap, if you will.
Yeah. I was going to say that earlier. Like, I think this is going to be a massive spring for you to go where you need to go and where you want to go. And, part of my work, I'd say more over the last year, is really helping powerful women who have all these tools, but they haven't been giving them in a way that they have the permission to know that they personally know when to implement them. And you're not supposed to do all the tools all the time. That's just overwhelming. It's like this beautiful toolbox that you have, and you pull things in. Like, I don't do every single wellness routine that I have done over my life or at any given point every single day. Like, that would just be insane. What I do is trust that when I wake up in the morning after now, a time doing this, you're the same way, I'm sure. It's like, what do I need today? I need like a heart-centered guided meditation, or I need to like just take Shavasana and like sage myself, or I need to go for a walk in nature and like look at some trees, or, sometimes it's, I need to have like just some absolute downtime with zero expectations with my kids and reconnect with them. Sometimes it's, I need a really nourishing meal, or, for me, a big part of my mental wellness is travel, is like switching it up and changing the energy, going to a new place that I don't know, and like being really open to what it has to offer me and what I can take away and integrate.
Yeah, no, I think the point being in what you're saying is for us to just completely be present and be in tune with ourselves. I think that's what you're going to get with these retreats and these like-minded women coming together, is you intuitively need to know, okay, I'm getting stressed out. I'm feeling anxiety. I'm feeling malnourished. I feel sluggish. I feel depressed. I feel ecstatic. Okay, well, what intuitively do I need to do to amplify that or change that or shift that? And I think that's what you're getting at, is what we want to provide, so that on a daily basis, like if I'm feeling anxious for whatever reason, I'm going to lie down and I'm going to start doing Reiki on my solar plexus, because as women, that's where we take a lot in. And that instantly calms me down, and it makes me feel more at ease, more at peace. So I think what I want, and I think what you want as well, is to provide so many different options so that people can start and pick and choose what they want in their toolkit to do. And going back to what you were saying about, the sisterhood, the sacred sisterhood, our groups that we're pulling together, nobody really knows each other as soon as they walk in, but instantly that guard is down. And that doesn't happen in everyday society. When we go to a party, right? We're always like looking our best, and we're, I always make a joke. It's like an act. It's an act. We all have an act. Not to say you're not genuine, but it's like, let's take down that and let's really just be present with one another, to support one another, and to really do our own personal expansion, you are going to make the best friends ever in this retreat. I guarantee everybody is going to connect with somebody at some point and make a lifelong friendship out of it. I think that's what happens when we come together in these circles. And that's what I've witnessed. You know, people want to come back more and more, and they want to keep doing the practice. And I think creating this container, similar to what we've started with the Collective 108, you know, we do them online, we do women's circles, we're going to do retreats and stuff like that. And I think it's a beautiful ongoing practice. When you feel the need to reconnect with women, you can come in, you know, in various levels.
It's one of the pillars in my 6 pillars of wellness is connection. So I think that starts with yourself, like connecting to yourself. And then, you know, your maybe other major relationships in your life are, you know, really important to have clarity and boundaries and all the good things there. But I think one thing that's really missing in modern culture is this opportunity to have a very tight-knit, safe, you know, space, community feeling. You know, like, I think you maybe have it in, you know, your mom's groups or, you know, even maybe in your yoga studio, but it's totally different when you sit down with other women and you just all know that you're there to hold space.
No judgment.
Yeah. No judgment.
Zero judgment.
And that you're open.
Right.
And you're open to the experience. That was the other thing I wanted to touch on earlier. Like, anybody who's listening to us talk about, you know, the impact of the energetic vortex, and you're like, what the fuck are they talking? Like, this is probably not for you. You know, like, we're the woman who hears this and either completely resonates or is intuitively curious to know more. And you don't necessarily have like a logical reason why this sounds like what you need to do, but like something
is pulling you,
is saying like, this sounds like something I need to do. Then, you know, these are the types of women that we're interested in having and that are going to come to this retreat. It's not going to be a space for people. And this particular one we're doing, it's women only. And it's really an opportunity to create like lifelong relationships, and to what degree we'll interact as a group after will really depend on each individual. But I know that I'm currently in a container around self-pleasure and sex. And it is this insane experience where 9 women from all over the world, well, most of them are in Europe, but we're all in very similar, we're all like 40 plus, I think we're all mothers. We've all had multiple like major relationships in our life. Like, there's just like major similarities. And then when you get down to the layers, like we're talking all about our sexual history, and like, there's not a lot of, there's things that I'm telling these women that I don't think I've ever told anyone, or even thought that it was something that could be discussed.
Right.
And that is what's so powerful about these types of containers is maybe, for example, you might have some major thing like a divorce or a miscarriage or like a loss of your employment, or I don't know, like
fidelity,
major everything. Life thing that you're dealing with. And for you, like, that's what you need to clear. And you're coming to like try and find clarity and closure and like just feel better around that thing.
Right.
And you're going to get that. And then I imagine you're going to get like way more beyond that. And to what degree, again, it's also about like how much you show up. Although showing up isn't about necessarily talking and sharing. It's just about being open,
right,
and present. That's a key factor. You know, if you're going to be checking your messages and your email and on your cell phone and like not really there, you're not going to get the same. I'm not saying you're not going to get anything, but you're not going to get the same level is the person that comes and on their break, they're like just looking at the palm trees, like how, you know, or maybe they're like Googling like how do palm trees grow, and like really trying to understand like the dynamics of the place versus, you know,
checking back in,
going in and out of their left. Yeah, exactly.
Because you're like, I need a break from it. I want to talk about the intuitive pull, you know, that makes you do things which you don't understand, like this group or whatever that you got into. We've all been in that situation. We just had a women's circle.
I moved to Mexico because I had this intuitive pull.
Right. And when has that ever led you down around a bad path? Like, you could have had experiences that were not so awesome, but there were lessons to be learned for you to evolve further. Totally. I myself, every single time I've felt to do something, you just go, just do it.
Well, so your recent move, like, why don't you talk about?
Yeah.
I mean, for a lot of women, what you just did is kind of crazy.
Well, it's ballsy.
It's ballsy. Yeah.
It's ballsy. It's like tatsies. I don't know. Just change the word.
It's like ovaries. No.
Ovaries. It's ovaries.
Oh, it's ovaries.
We have to stop watching that Australia show, you and I.
Epi ovaries.
Oh, my goodness. It goes on. That's an inside joke. But I think, you know, I first, before I talk about my move, I think we just had a women's circle here in Charleston, Isle of Palms. It was really beautiful on the beach on Saturday morning. And, you know, these women came and we asked them, who has done a women's circle before? Put your hands up. Or who's done Reiki? And everybody was like, a lot of people were like, I've never been to one of these before. I don't know what it is.
I think all of them, like, they all had some experience with a yoga class.
Yes.
So like that was
or meditation.
Yeah. But the other wild thing is every single one of them was not from here.
Yeah.
Like, not one of them was born in Charleston or even South Carolina. Like, I even think this part of the United States. Most of them were from far away, and most of them had just moved here. So it was
that's normal because everybody's moving here.
I guess so.
But my point being is that they didn't know why they were coming, and they just felt that they had to come, and it was beautiful. We had 3 best friends that literally have moved to different cities to follow one another. That's like a sacred sisterhood right then and there, right? Uprooting your family and your jobs and your friends and your kids to come together. Then they all live literally a block away from me, which is totally awesome. But I think when you feel some type of energetic pull, we came to Charleston here as we were driving over one of the bridges in Daniels Island. I looked at my husband and I was like, done. I don't need to see anything else. I don't need to make sure that I want to move here. I was like, instantaneously, long day of travel, still was so present when I got here. And I just felt the energy and I was like, okay, we're done. This is going to be awesome. And I had to make very, very, okay. So when you're manifesting something and you really want it to happen, sometimes you have routes that you take that are going to give you roadblocks along the way. That does not mean it is not meant to be for you. I feel, for me personally, I pivoted, which I hate using that word. I have to get rid of that word.
I use it.
Anyway, I shifted and I looked at the situation of where I energetically felt that I wanted to be. And I said, how can I approach it differently? What do I need to do it differently? You know, and I took massive action. I think that's the biggest key. You can't just wait for things to manifest. You actually have to step into it. And we're going to talk a lot about this at the retreat.
So basically you first have to be able to visualize it. Then you need to embody what that visualization is. So like sense it, feel it, like on all 5 senses, you know, like put yourself there in the present moment. What does it smell like? What does it look like? What am I wearing? How do I feel? What am I tasting? Like, really just put sensory experience to your visualization. And then massive action.
Right. And it's the 3 pillars that I work with. You work with 6, I work with 3. How funny is that? But I work with being mindful, really focusing on that. And what that encompasses is mindfulness is like understanding your why. Why is it that I want to do something? What am I getting out of it? How is it going to make me feel? Immersing yourself energetically in the experience before it even happens. We've all read The Secret, watched the movie. We know how it is. The second one is the mindset factor. My goodness, that's where we get stopped all the time. It's like the border closes on us, you know, from progressing, is reframing the limiting beliefs we potentially have from making huge life choices and being like, how can I see this from a different perspective? How can I change how I feel? What would I feel on the other side of it if it wasn't a roadblock for me? How would I feel? Go into that vibration. That vibration is going to take you into the manifesting, which is the massive action, is you getting crystal clear on what you want, how you're going to do it, how you're going to get there, and stay in that vibration. Let me tell you, if I didn't stay in that vibration and have unwaveringly faith that the universe was guiding me at the perfect time. And I knew that it was like I entered into a channel, and everything was like perfectly going for me. There was this, remember Mr. Bean, that show? Mm-hmm. Somebody had posted something you might have seen on Instagram or Facebook. It was like Mr. Bean, when the universe aligns perfectly for you, and you see him step off a building, steps onto a bus, steps onto a car, you know, it was like everything was perfectly matching him getting to where he needed to go. And that's exactly what happened for me to manifest coming here.
Yeah, well, I think a big part of what we teach is embodiment, you know, is like all these tools are going to help you have this clarity, but from different angles, you know, and a big part of allowing space for this clarity is having very clear boundaries about what you're consuming. So this is what I was thinking when you were talking about, you know, you got here, you saw the thing, you just knew it. And I think the trap that so many of us fall into, I can speak to it like on a much more superficial level. When I'm here in the United States, on the one hand, I just find it like so amazing and exciting, like how many choices there are at the supermarket, you know, like there's a whole
the tortilla choices
aisle of tea, you know, whereas where I live, you know, tea is not a big thing. And so there's 3 or 4 types of tea, and you're just really excited if there's like a tea when you want to buy it, you know, and there's zero time and energy spent like making decisions. Right. It's just like, oh, there's tea. Great. Done. Whereas when we're here and we're just like marinating in an information overwhelm, like unlimited choices, and you could have spent like years on the internet researching like where do I want to move, where's the best place to live,
criteria,
and you would never, maybe you would have never done it because you just had too much information, and none of it was about tuning into how you energetically, intuitively feel about any of those places.
Right. And it's so funny that you say that, because when we were here in Isle of Palms and we were doing some scouting for home locations, we drove by this one house and we just looked at it. We were like, And then you said to me, you were like, Britt, why do we have to go find 10 million other houses to go look at? This is the house. And I was like, yeah. I'm like, why should we go and spend hours and upon hours? It's like, just get the house. Have another retreat locally. Just saying.
Announcement coming soon.
Coming soon.
All right. Well, let's wrap this up because I think we've gone over our 18-minute goal, but that's cool. I think it was really a good talk, and I think like let's just maybe give them a little bit more of the tangibles of what types of modalities we're going to be using.
Yep.
I really, in the last couple of years, have found human design to be really powerful in terms of understanding our energy flows and trying to work with your human design as opposed to against it. It really helps in terms of making decisions, like where in your body should you really be tuning into more based on your energetic, your human design type. EFT tapping, which can be really powerful ritual to help you just embody a different energetic feeling, and like, and it's using meridians, and it's this relaxing exercise that, whether you believe in it or not, can really just help you shift out of anxiety.
I do it sometimes, like I'm working, I'm like, okay, what am I thinking?
Yeah, well, there's that intuitive thing that like you when someone's like not sure what.
It
does. So journaling is such a powerful one that we talk about a lot. Movement, we're going to be doing some yoga, but I just say movement practices these days because sometimes I'm like way off the mat, you know?
It could be dance.
It could be dance.
Just moving our bodies, shaking up that energy.
Totally.
Yeah.
And we're going to be doing lots of guided meditation. We're going to be doing Reiki healing. We're going to be doing group sound baths. Are we doing like a mud? Are we doing the mud cleanse?
Oh yeah, we're doing a Mayan clay
there we go.
Massage. So that's going to be super fun. That we're all going to get together on the beach, and hopefully not a lot of people are watching. I've done one of those before and ran into the ocean.
Fun.
I had gauze on me and just clay, and my girlfriend's gauze came off, and she was in the ocean.
I'm at least going to be wearing a bikini bottom.
Yeah, you wear your bikini, your bathing suit, whatever you feel more comfortable. But yeah, I think that there's like a really cool ritual in with that. We're also going to have excursions because I think
obviously we're going to go to the ruins,
which is going to be
so powerful. You can't even imagine if you've never been to a ruin, first of all.
We'll get bikes.
The bikes. It's going to be amazing. And also so I just quickly wanted to touch on the fact that we consciously decided that this particular retreat, we were going to go to a space, a center that is an expert, that this is their expertise, so that we didn't have to worry about like every single aspect of the logistics. So we're going to a Manasala, and we'll be sharing more and more over the next couple of months. It is an incredible space. And you just walk in there and you feel better. Like, it's partly the incredible food. It is the air. Clean. It is just the vibe.
You're going to lose weight coming.
And it's all the other people that are there to do the same thing. Everyone's there to feel better and and like to be high vibe.
Right.
And sometimes when we're in our everyday lives, we're not around those environments, those people at all or often. And just being immersed in that for 3, almost 4 days is going to be life-changing for you.
We're going to have conscious conversations. I believe they have a beautiful fire pit. Have you seen it?
Yeah.
So we'll do a lot of dinners together. We'll go offsite for a beautiful dinner. That's all obviously included. A lot of Reiki energy healing, sound bowl. You mentioned.
Maybe we're going to have a kimono fashion show.
Might as well.
Can I just say, like, that is so your color. You just look so beautiful.
Well, and I'm wearing like green pants.
Exactly. Too. No, like the whole outfit, but it's just like it already went with everything in your wardrobe and the adorable little bracelets
that Megan gave me.
Compliment your eyes too. It's color.
Thank you. It's green. It's hazel. It's all in the color palette. And I think also, like, every single day we're going to have a theme of the retreat. So we're going to be deep diving and focusing on that theme so that you can do the work on yourself. Obviously, great conversation. A lot of free time for you just to be and to immerse yourself.
Walk on the beach,
shop, swim, to do whatever it is that you want to do. We want to give people time.
Maybe you need to sleep more, probably.
Oh, yeah. Especially moms.
Maybe especially moms. You might just need to go to bed early a few nights and
But we're also going to put together some special stuff too. There'll be some surprises. And it's going to be really beautiful. And I can't wait just to bring everybody into the space, and everybody that comes will create the retreat. That's the beautiful part. Like, Megan and I are creating the space, the container, making sure that everything's organized from your food, your hotel, your transportation, all of that stuff's included in this. And it's just going to be really beautiful.
Like really incredible women I can't wait to meet that are signed up. Some of them are really very cool. Oh yes, there's an amazing spa.
A lot of spa treatments too. So it's going to be really spectacular. Epi.
It's going to be epi.
Epi. So that's the new word. It's not epic anymore. It's epi. So.
All right. Well, let's wrap it up. And this will be the one and only podcast until future notice that I recorded in person. And
we'll do another one when we're into
let's do it.
We'll do it with the group.
Amazing. Mm-hmm. All right. Well,
thank you, Megan, for having me on your podcast.
Well, thank you for being here. Thank you for lending me all of the equipment to record it and having me in your gorgeous house.
At my house, at my beds.
Yeah.
Great stuff. Well, anyways, thank you again. This is great.
Bye for now.